In our 78th season, the Palm Beach Civic Association brings you Palm Beach TV, the island's only newscast. We're sponsored by the Fortin Foundation of Florida. Our mission is to inform town residents about the unique challenges of island life and to highlight the actions and achievements of our leaders and the dynamic people who live here. Now the news.
Hi, I'm Wendy Rutledge, and in this newscast, we're going to talk about two topics. First, the results of the expert water panel report and what that means to the quality of your drinking water. Also, we're going to talk about a possible change to the waterway just off of Peanut Island. First, though, your drinking water.
We were able to control it, and last year it broke through on us.
What broke through was the invisible but toxic cylindrospermopsin.
This one we can't see. It doesn't form, there's not a flag, there's not a big algae bloom that we can say, oh, we need to take action. So this is why it comes and goes without even knowing it.
Which led to the surprise attack of cylindrospermopsin to our drinking water last May, rendering it undrinkable. That was then, this is now. And according to the expert water panel put together to address this shortcoming in the water treatment process, two major steps have been taken to improve water quality: more testing and more treatment.
The biggest thing that we did was we created the in-house capability to turn samples around in 4 to 8 hours. That means that we can turn chlorine up or down, more pack or less of the carbon within a day, and see what the results are by the second day.
So, more testing and more treatment, which includes quicker adjustment to the chlorine levels to kill off the invisible toxins, and a relatively new additional treatment exposing the tainted water to ultraviolet light, both suggestions of the expert water panel, and according to Palm Beach Public Works Director Paul Brazil, effective for now.
What is it that they could add to their treatment to make sure that the cyanotoxin didn't get past the treatment side of it? And they've done that. The city has implemented those things. And it's a good short to medium term fix.
The panel didn't stop with short-term fixes. Rather, it made recommendations that would address the source of the water, which is surface water that is susceptible to toxic algae contamination before it enters the water treatment system.
And future long-term, more holistic studies, including wellfield blending studies, lake water treatment options, and potential alternative water sources to help the city provide more robust source water to avoid some of these cylindrospermopsin events.
To that end, the city of West Palm Beach has applied to the South Florida Water Management District for the right to tap into groundwater to dilute the more vulnerable surface water.
They know as the lake levels are dropping that if they start blending the well water, they'll have less of a treatment issue to deal with.
To date, no word on whether the groundwater application has been approved. Meantime, a new expert water panel will be formed over the next few months to address those long-term issues, such as where the water comes from, whether more can be sourced from cleaner underground aquifers and wells, and whether more advanced treatment processes, such as reverse osmosis, are possible next steps. A proposal is in the works that would create a shortcut, a cut-through that cuts right by Peanut Island. It would create a third boating channel in this waterway here, and that is a proposal that is not without controversy.
What they want to do is they want to cut through right here and put another channel, a third channel, in and around the shoal and the island, thereby taking out this seagrass bed, a corner off of this one and a corner off of this one, and possibly a whole lot more impact.
This is part of a permit application submitted by the Marine Industries Association and Palm Beach County that requests permission to dredge not one, but 2 channels in the Lake Worth Lagoon. One of those channels lies just off an area adjacent to the Sailfish Marina, an existing channel that experts agree needs some cleanup and widening.
If you had 2 boats passing right there, it wouldn't be very safe. There are very few people that are objecting to this portion of the cut, and this should be permitted.
According to Barry, who spent 21 years as Division Director of Environmental Resource Management for the county, it's that second part of the permit request, the one that seeks to create a cut-through, third channel, a new channel that is problematic for many reasons, starting with what he calls the unnecessary destruction of the rapidly vanishing and absolutely critical seagrasses, which provide sustenance to marine life.
Manatees are literally starving to death. We've lost 1,000 manatees this year. And with that, we're taking seagrasses out, which doesn't really make any sense when you don't have to do it.
Add to that the safety issues that would develop if that cut-through right off Peanut Island was created.
Swimmers and boaters would suddenly encounter this huge, deep fallout, and people could get hurt.
Correct.
That seems like a legitimate concern.
Yes, both the Town of Palm Beach and the Civic Association have both supported the dredge in front of the Sailfish Marina, but have had strong concerns about the cut through and have voiced those.
If you have a steeper slope than what the people are used to, they can step off the slope, a non-swimmer or a child, get swept into the deeper water and drowned.
On top of the safety and environmental issues, add to that the permit request to allow mechanical or hydraulic dredging. If this moves forward and mechanical dredging is allowed, which by the way is the cheaper option, the resulting disturbance to affected nearby waters could cause a massive stir-up, creating turbidity, even threatening the pristine snorkeling and diving spot under the Blue Heron Bridge.
When you have increased dredging like this, it could result in increased turbidity, and this is a very sensitive area. The area around the bridge is habitat for a bunch of very, very small organisms that are very sensitive to sediment in the water column. And if there was a fair amount of that, it could seriously damage that area and cause harm.
In addition, Barry contends that the mitigation plan to replace lost seagrasses is doomed to failure at a time when seagrasses are already dying out, because the permit only calls for insufficient numbers of replacement grasses at not even a 1-to-1 ratio, where success is usually 3 or 4-to-1, and that they would be planted at the 7-foot depth of the new channel, too deep for successful regeneration.
We've already done -7. Did it 30 years ago. Dove it many, many times to see if we had seagrasses coming in. Didn't happen. We never got seagrass.
The permit in question is on hold right now with the Army Corps of Engineers, but many believe it's on track to be approved. That said, a few of those we spoke with believe that while the uncontroversial maintenance dredge off Sailfish Marina will go forward, the more controversial cut-through off Peanut Island doesn't, at this point, appear to have the support it needs to move forward. Don't forget, we want you all to attend our annual meeting coming up on April 11th. This year's annual meeting will feature a review of our 78th season and the mayor's State of the Town address. A champagne reception will follow in the beautiful Flagler Museum Grand Hall. To register for the event, go to our website, palmbeachcivic.org, and click the Events tab. It's open to everyone, so don't forget to bring a friend. That wraps it up for this newscast. We thank you so much for watching. Please follow us anytime on social media and join Christina on Sunday for her newscast. And we will see you next time on Palm Beach TV, brought to you by the Civic Association and our viewers.
Palm Beach TV is a production of the Palm Beach Civic Association. We thank our sponsor, the Fortin Foundation of Florida, and encourage you, our viewers, to let us know how we can provide news coverage that best serves our members and residents.